The Bengals, everything's on the line. The coach's job security, who I think is actually a good coach, his job's on the line.
Yep.
Joe Burrow's future as the Bengals starting quarterback on the line.
It is to be determined whether or not Joe Burrow is with the Bengals next year. Because if they fail to make the playoffs again and he's not happy with the decisions made or not made as it relates to the coaching staff, you can't rule out the possibility he's going to want out. Bengals fans hate when I say this and they think it's fake, but it's not. It's real. Others have said it. Others have heard it. That if Joe Burrow was from Athens, Georgia, not Athens, Ohio, he would have refused to play for the Bengals when they drafted him in 2020. He felt compelled to play there because he was a kid from Ohio.
Florio, it isn't a surprise now, chasing after a story. You gotta get one somehow. I think you got to chill out before your site is shut down. Yes, your reporting always raised doubt, but your brain's begun to break down. You see, Joe Burrow is a Bengal. Don't distort the things he said, though the voices in your head say good job, Florio. Oh, Florio, your Steelers have an old man. Cincinnati has a young star, and he's a native Ohioan. You have got big feeling. Work them out with a professional. Florio.
Wow, that was beautiful. Music to my ears. Really, and Mike Florio, who watches this show, is probably so happy about the tribute you just gave him.
Thank you. And I mean it when I say work them out with a professional. Yeah. I have been in therapy now for about 48 years. And
you have, and let me ask you something, because this happens a lot.
My inner child is 70.
Right. And here's the thing, right? So every once in a while, someone will come and try to cause a rift between Hoji and wife number 6, wife number 7, whoever.
14.
Because they're jealous.
Yeah.
Right? And they will say, I don't think Hoji is interested in you. I think Hoji wants to, go, I don't know, live with the veil.
But it's not one thing. I have gone through divorces ranging from things having to do with complaints about the smell of my feet to, getting rid of an aquarium. Yeah. All kinds of things that will cause a divorce. I'm actually writing a book about how to get a divorce.
Right. How to get a divorce. But the point is this, is that Michael
Florio
is constantly trying to say Joe Burrow wants away from the Bengals. This is even though, Dr. Hoji, as you've seen throughout the news this week, everybody is pointing out that Joe Burrow is happy. The team is positioned to go very far. He's positioned to win MVP. A lot of very smart NFL analysts, Mina Kimes and Ben Solak and others have said he will win the MVP because
who cares? Right. The Bengals are setting him up to be the Dan Marino of his generation, which is to say the greatest, but without a ring. And that's what he's going to be. Right. And if I am Joe Burrow, or I am Joe Burrow's dad, or I am Joe Burrow's uncle, or let's say I am just a relative who's hanging out with him, I would say, Joe Burrow, leave this team as soon as possible. So actually, even though I sang that song in response to Florio, I agree with Florio. I think Joe Burrow is out of here, and I think he should be out. And I think the Bengals will do better without Burrow. I'll tell you why. Joe Burrow is like a Band-Aid, or kind of like steroids. You think that it's going to make the team better, but in a way, it's ruining our lives. Because we keep counting and banking on him and not fixing the bigger problems. See, this is a team that could possibly win with a Flacco. This is the team that could possibly... Yeah.
No.
But
no.
What we need is a bigger change. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, no. I would say... So, look. Florio has said it's TBD, to be determined, whether Joe Burrow will stay with the Bengals next year. Here's the thing. Yes, they missed the playoffs a few years in a row. However, the defense is looking good. Okay, the O-line is looking pretty good. Okay, the receivers are excellent. We have Dexter Lawrence. There's no reason, and Burrow has like 7 years on his contract. I mean, it's ridiculous to say that.
Can I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I just want you to use your analytical brain, okay?
Okay.
When a team consistently performs better in the second half of the year or the second half of a game than they do in the first half of the year or half of a game, what does that indicate?
It indicates. Well, I know what you're getting at.
No, you
but
don't.
You have to understand.
I don't know if you do. Can I say what I'm getting at?
Yes.
It indicates that this is a team that is making it up as it goes along. This is a team that's fixing its problems as it goes
So
along.
you're criticizing Zach Taylor.
I am
but
fine.
listen,
I'm not just Zach. Not just Zach. Anybody who's in charge of planning is not planning enough.
Listen. The whole point of this show was to talk about how Florio is wrong and Joe Burrow is very happy and the Bengals are good. That was the thumbnail list. Everything is built around that. So let's try to do that. Okay. Now,
Why? If I don't agree
that-
with that position, why do I have to take that position?
That's how these shows work. You choose the position that helps the show. It's not about you. Okay, look. So here's the thing. So we have the Bengals won the preseason opener. Burrow looked okay. I mean, he was playing very conservative. Flacco came in, threw a touchdown. The offensive line was doing a pretty good job. Like, Burrow had nice pockets in there, but he was still being pressured. He was still being pressured on almost 30% of his dropbacks, 28.6% of his dropbacks, which is not good. He only played 2 series. And a big culprit was Orlando Brown Jr. Now, you remember a few years ago, Orlando Brown Jr. was the big, splashy offseason signing.
Yeah.
Now, he might be the biggest vulnerability, the weakness on that offensive line. And there's nothing they can do to fix it now with the season around the corner. And Zach Taylor kind of called him out. He's like, look, he's a big man. He's a big boy. He's going to figure it out. You know, he's a leader. We like him. And he does have a great attitude, Orlando Brown. But that is one big concern that we have. And we're going to see against the Chicago Bears if Orlando Brown can pick it up.
I mean, let's be frank. Orlando, if you're watching the show, it has been...
We love you. We love you. We want you on the show.
It's been pretty much like 23 years since you did Pirates of the Caribbean, and nobody has seen you in anything since then. So if you can't play football, what's left?
Right. I see where you're going with that. And speaking of
This
that,
is your
actually,
chance.
the Bengals actually do have a player who had to leave the team to star in a Pirates of the Caribbean-like movie.
Yeah,
Did you see that, Hoji?
I did.
Yeah.
I don't remember who or what.
No, I don't remember his name, but he was like a probably borderline player, probably
Yeah.
not likely to make the team. But I think that it's pretty cool. And his name was, hold on, pulling it up, Kier Wright. I don't know how to say that. But did you know he played LeBron James' son in Space Jam 2? That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
And so he's an
I wish I could
actor
be
slash football player.
LeBron's son.
Yeah. Well, you were close. You were close when I think you asked him for an autograph and he patted you on the head. That was pretty close.
Well, actually, it got passed.
But,
I sent him
okay.
adoption papers, but he didn't
Right.
sign them.
Right. No, he's very careful about what he signs these days. Could have pulled it off probably earlier, but okay. So we have the matchup with the Bears, and we have the struggles on offensive line. Looking to see some improvement there. The other thing I would say is that the defense is looking smarter.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we have Dexter Lawrence, and PFF has rated the Bengals number 8 overall defensive line. Even though they lost Trey Hendrickson, maybe the best pass rusher in their history or in the last 30 years or something. They lost Trey Hendrickson, but the defensive line is better because they've got a lot of depth. They've got a lot of good parts. But not only that, but I like how they're playing to set up their linebackers. I'm going to break down some film for you. I'm going to break it
Can
down
I
in
just say
14
something
seconds. Here we go.
before you get there?
Yeah.
Can I just say one observation? Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
think about this, and I really want you to I want to sit in your hearts. Joe Burrow
Please.
was pressured on 28.6 of dropbacks in our opener. 28.6 of them. Percent of them.
Percent.
One of those drives ended in a sack. The next of them
That was a big. That
was a hard
lot
hit
of
on a
stuff.
third down throw. Now, does that sound like a team that cannot prevent this in the preseason when we have everything to lose and nothing to gain? Are they going to be able to defend him throughout the year? Florio, I call upon your spirit, Florio. No, they cannot.
Well, I blame Joe Burrow's decision making on that sack.
Of course
he
you
had
do.
a nice
because
clean
you're a
pocket.
shill. Do you
He
know
just
what a
kinda took
shill
too
is,
long.
Dadio? A shill. You're a shill. You carry the line
Yeah,
of the
Florio.
Bengals. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Show me what you want to show me.
Look. All right, so I'm going to break down this film, and I'm going to talk about this thing called the B gap. And so you're going to see a linebacker, I think it's Demetrius Knight, shooting through the B gap.
Sure.
While you have a 3-man defensive front with a 3-0-3, which means a 3-tech, a 0-tech, like a nose tackle, and a 3-tech. I think I got that right, but we don't have John, so no one's going to be able to call me out. Here we go. So here you have the bare front. See the 3-0-3? Then that means that they're clogging up that middle part, and then it leaves this guy off the edge. He comes in, he shoots the gap, he gets the running back, and he takes him for a ride about 15 yards. That is exactly the type of play we never saw last year.
You know what we used to call that when I was a coach?
We used to call what?
What we used to call that play when I was a quarterback coach at Malibu State University. Online. Community college. Are you there?
No, I don't know.
What we used to call that play
Yeah.
was constipation followed by enema. I named it that. Because it's the constipation of the line, and then you enema the runner through.
Yes, the linebacker. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm glad that your plays have finally made it over to Al Golden,
Yeah.
but
He probably stole my playbook. It
So-
was in a Google Doc, so it was publicly accessed. I got an email that was hacked. It was probably hacked by Al Golden.
he needs all the help he can get. Let's be honest.
Listen, Daddy, did you know that FTN Fantasy Almanac has Cincinnati with the 32nd ranked easiest schedule, which is central to both the NBFB case and the Prove It storyline? I mean, come on. Easiest schedule? What the hell?
Yeah, I mean, and first of all, I want to point out what FTN stands for, which is Fantasy Truth National. And it is where all the true fantasy opinions are shared.
32nd ranked?
And that's great. That's a
Easiest?
very good thing. That means they have the easiest schedule.
It's an insult. It's an insult, Daddy.
No, it is not an insult.
I can't tell if your internet has a problem or you're taking drugs again before the show. Or both. Yeah, I think you.
Yeah, it's the internet again. Yeah. But I will say that everything's looking pretty good for the Bengals. Everybody's looking crisp and sharp. Defense is making plays. They're shutting down the offense, which is a very good thing. And yeah, we have one more preseason game, and then we have the wrap up, which is just kind of
before you go to the
guys
defense,
on
did we call out Dylan Fairchild though? This kid, what a great buy. Sometimes it's like when it's really like when you don't know the kids at school and you're picking teams and you accidentally pick the greatest one. I mean, this kid, he posted a 74.3 pass blocking grade over his final 8 games last year. He's 4th among the rookie linemen. He's looking good. He's looking good. We picked a good one.
He is. And his nickname is the Pickle. So I really...
Well, I'm just going to call him Fairchild because he is a fair and noble child.
He is.
He's a gentle child.
He is. And it's nice to finally draft, talented offensive linemen. It's been a while. We have Amarius Mims, who's looking great.
Yeah.
We have Dylan Fairchild. And I think Ted Karras is kind of rounding back into shape. Orlando Brown, I hope he can get his act together, at least protect Burrow's blind side enough that it's not a big liability. But overall, offensive line has gone from a weakness to a non-weakness. I wouldn't say it's a strength, but it's a non-weakness. Neutral, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is about as good as we can expect. Speaking of as good as you can expect, all we expect from you is
Me?
what? We expect, no, not from you, Hoji, but from our fans, is we just expect, look, we have 6 people watching this show, 6 hardcore fans. If each one, 5 now, if each one of them just donates $3 a month, we can cover our StreamYard costs, because we're $15 short a month. And that will help us keep doing the show. And that is really, that's all I've got, Dr. Hoji.
Well, great.
And so
I know it. We know it's
with
tough
that-
times for
with-
people. Inflation is hitting you.
Yeah.
Your parents are calling you for money. Your children are subscribing to apps. But don't forget
Yeah.
that there are 2 elderly retired rock stars living in Malibu who also need your help. And one of them
Right.
only has 2 Teslas. And he buys organic groceries, but sometimes he wonders if he can keep affording all of them. And he does feed
Yeah.
his animals organic foods, but what if one day he can't? We need your support more than ever.
Go to patreon.com/theedgeofsports, and that's it. So we'll see you next time. So long, the sweetie pies.